In today's tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to create pipe models with the new pipe modeling tool in Trimble RealWorks versions 12 and up. Please note that these tools are only available in the Performance and Tank editions of RealWorks. Here we have a cloud of an industrial facility. Since there is a lot going on, let's open up the Limit Box tool and isolate the area we wish to work with. Find the Limit Box tool under the View tab or by hitting F4 on your keyboard. So we're just going to click on the area of the cloud that we want to isolate, and then the limit box will be drawn. I'm going to hit R on the keyboard to bring up the rotation tools. This will allow me to get the limit box parallel to the direction of the pipe, making it easier to isolate. I'm going to choose E on the keyboard to bring the grab handles back, and we can bring in the sections we want to work with. Once the limit box is drawn, we can go ahead and hide the grab handles. This will give us a cleaner workspace and also prevent us from accidentally changing the limit box dimensions. Now that we had the pipe section isolated, we can begin modeling. Click on the Create Pipe tool and a new toolbar will appear to the right of the workspace. We're also going to open the Cloud Transparency option, which is also under the View tab. We'll come back to what this does in a little bit. We have two options to begin with. We can either create a new pipe by defining 2 points on the cloud, or we can define a pipe by clicking on a cylinder that was already created. In this case, we don't have any existing pipes, so we will choose the first option and select 2 points on the cloud. When creating pipe runs, it is important to keep in mind that we can only do one axis and straight section at a time. For instance, we have a straight section running through the x-axis followed by an elbow. Then we have a straight section in the y-axis followed by another elbow. Finally, the last section runs through the z-axis. So to start, we're going to work with the first straight section in the x-axis and then build out the run from there. Let's see what this looks like. Note the indicator on my mouse. It's a little number 1. This shows that RealWorks is ready for you to select the first point on the cloud. We're going to click on the middle section of the pipe. You'll notice the little indicator on my mouse has changed from a 1 to a 2. This indicates that RealWorks has identified the first point and is now ready for the next. If the indicator does not change to a 2, try clicking again or in a slightly denser area. Once the indicator switches to a 2, click on the section of the pipe where you want the end of the cylinder to be drawn. I'm going to choose a point right before the elbow to finish this first straight run. Once I click, just like that, the pipe is automatically drawn and fitted to the cloud. You'll notice some grab handles on each side. This is a feature in RealWorks 12.1 and up. The grab handles allow you to adjust the length of the pipe segment on either endpoint. Be sure to note the color of the pipe as well. Green in this case indicates a good fit with a low standard deviation. Red would indicate a bad fit with a high standard deviation. You might see colors in between, such as orange. That would indicate an OK fit with an OK standard deviation. Once the first run has been completed, click on the end of the next run, and RealWorks will continue to add pipe and elbows as needed. For instance, for this next run, we have an elbow, then a straight section. Again, we want to take care of one section along the axis at a time. In this case, we can either click at the end of the section or at the end of the elbow. Either option will work, but for more complicated elbows, traps, U's, or S's, it may be easier to fit the elbow first and then the straight section. I'm going to take care of the elbow and then extend the rest of the pipe from there. Let's do the same for the last section of the pipe. Again, let's take care of the elbow, and once that's complete, we can move down to the rest of the pipe to finish modeling. And just like that, with only a few clicks, we have completed modeling this pipe. So let's take a look at some of the other features in the Pipe Creator tool. Using E on the keyboard or the Change Active Extremity button, we can change which pipe extremity is currently active. The active extremity is denoted by the color of the pipe. In this case, the active extremity is the green pipe. What this means is that if we were to add a segment, be it a cylinder, reducer, or a T-junction, it would be added to the active extremity. If we want to extend this section of the pipe, we just need to change the active extremity, and you can see now it's changed. The extremity can only be the end sections of the pipe. If we try to select this middle section, we'll get an audible sound from the computer. You will also notice that the grab handles have now moved to the ends of our entire pipe segment. You can now adjust either endpoint. The next object options allows you to define which objects you want to fit next. So far, we have been using the pipe segment tool, which includes straight segments and elbows. We can also fit reducers, T-junctions, and branch switches. Let's take a look at how to draw a reducer. First, we gotta make sure that the correct active extremity is selected before beginning. Now we can select the reducer tool. In this particular example, we have a few changes in diameters. You can see the weld lines where the diameter has changed. So in this example, we actually have to draw 2 reducers. So when we draw the reducer, you want to click on the area in which the diameter has changed. For instance, you can see the reducer begins here, then the diameter is changing until it reaches the next weld. So let's click and see what happens. In this case, we have a few adjustments to make, which we can do with the grab handles. To make things easier, let's change cloud transparency so we can see the cloud with the pipe model. Again, to bring up the tool, head to the View tab and click on the Cloud Transparency to bring up the options. Let's adjust the transparency so we can see the cloud, and then we can adjust the reducer to fit. Now that I had the fit kind of close, you'll notice that RealWorks has changed the color of the pipe. Again, that indicates that now we have a good fit and low standard deviation. Let's select the reducer option again and draw the second one. Once the reducer is drawn, I can use the grab handles to make adjustments. Just like that, we have the entire pipe drawn, including the reducer. Note that if I want to change the active extremity, again, I can only select the endpoints. I can no longer select this middle section in between. Let's take a look at some of the edit and connect features available in the pipe modeling tool. First, we can adjust the diameter by selecting a section of the pipe, then specifying a new diameter. So let's make a drastic change so you can see that effect. We can also adjust the diameter by selecting this icon, then a section of the pipe. A dialog box will appear where we can specify a new diameter for the pipe. Again, we can see the difference here. We can also adjust the elbow radius at any elbow. For instance, in this elbow, RealWorks has drawn it at a slightly higher angle than what it really is. We can select the elbow radius tool, click on the elbow, and again a dialog box will appear. Let's try to see if we can find a ratio that works better with the cloud. Looks like this one here is a lot better. We can see if it fits with the curve of the pipe on the cloud. We can check our other elbow just to make sure that one fits. In this case, it looks like it fits well. Using the slice tool, we can split any straight segments of the pipe. Simply click and RealWorks will split the pipe, and now you can see there's grab handles on each side for you to adjust the new sections. Note that you cannot slice elbows. Let's just turn off the grab handles and see how this looks. If we want to reconnect separate segments, we can use the connect option to do so. You can connect existing pipes to other pipes, given that they have a similar diameter and they're on intersecting axes. We can also connect pipes to reducers and branches. Let's specify our extremity, and then simply click on the pipe you want to connect to. RealWorks will automatically fit the sections together. We can use the delete option to remove any segment of our pipe. For instance, we can remove this elbow and this other one. When we reconnect the pipes, the elbows are automatically added back. Again, keep in mind that pipes can only be connected if they have intersecting axes. We wouldn't be able to connect these two pipes together. Instead, we would have to create a section in between. We can either extend from one side, or we can create a new segment by choosing two new points. Let's just extend this from one side, and then we can connect it to the other. In the Explore section, we have the ability to turn the pipe geometry on or off. We can do the same for the manipulator handles as well. The little magnifying glass enables the magnifier tool. This lets us zoom into a section of the cloud and pipe. We can use the plus and minus keys to increase or decrease the area that we are zoomed into. We can also enable this tool by holding the N button and then clicking on the area of the cloud that we wish to magnify. Finally, we have the creation options. The first option here tells RealWorks whether or not to use all the points when creating the pipe. If you're finding the tool is working slowly, or if you're on a weaker machine, disabling this option will force RealWorks to extract a lesser amount of points when creating the pipe. This may help speed things up. The final option disables the ability to snap to common elbow angles such as 90 or 45 degrees. Disabling this may be useful if you have traps along the pipe segment or unusual bends. Once you're satisfied with your pipe segment, you can create, then close out of the Pipe Creator tool. This may take a couple seconds to process as RealWorks makes one final refinement to your pipe model. Once complete, you'll notice a new group in the workspace. Each segment created by the Create Pipe tool is stored into what's called a pipe group. When we double-click the group, we can see all the individual pipe models that make up the segment. We can treat these as geometry layers which can be edited by the Create Pipe tool at any time. And that is how you use the new pipe modeling tool in Trimble RealWorks 12 and up. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comments section. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe for more RealWorks tips.